Our next speaker is our illustrious Kristina. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. And I missed the intro on an earlier speech. Here, I thought my training was going pretty good this evening. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. We all learned that rhyme as children in school. But have you ever stopped to think about what life was like for the sailors on Columbus's ship? Sit back and enjoy an original story of what might have been. Please join me in welcoming Kristina.
When my parents downsized, they got rid of furniture, as most parents do, and they said to Eric and to me, "Would you like the bookcase?" We said, "Yes, we'd love to have the bookcase." My father said, "There's one condition, you have to take all the books on it." It was full of books. We brought them all home, boxed many of them up, put it aside, and used the bookcase for our own books. Several years later, I got to looking at some of these. This particular one I found interesting. This Historian's History of the World, British Colonies, the United States, published in 1904. As I was flipping through, I noticed some pages in the back, and I discovered an amazing treasure. There, tucked inside the back cover, was a copy of the captain's log from the Pinta. Captain Martin Alonso Pinzon. Who's next? Well, I made a copy of the copies. I wouldn't bring the original here. And I wanted to share with you, from his own words, what the journey was like. Captain's log, August 1st, 1492. My name is Martin Alonso Pinzon, commander of the sailing ship Pinta, in company with my brother Vicente, commander of the Nina. We and 126 experienced sailors will soon embark on a journey that has been long in the planning. Christopher Columbus will lead our expedition, and he will command the Santa Maria. We are on a journey to discover a trade route to the East Indies via sea. Every crew member has been handpicked for his, I lost my place. Every crew member has been handpicked for his expertise and experience at sea. This is by far the finest, fittest crew to ever sail the oceans. Our final month of preparation will be spent loading our vessels with foodstuff and supplies, anticipating our journey, and bidding our loved ones a fond farewell. Captain's log, September 8th. We are thrilled beyond measure to finally set sail, knowing we will soon reach our destination, where we will load our vessels with the riches of the East Indies. We anticipate arriving in 10 days or possibly 2 weeks, depending upon the weather. Captain's log, September 15th. We have reached the Canary Islands under favorable conditions. We have replenished our foodstuffs and supplies, and will sail tomorrow for our final destination, which we should reach in a matter of days. The crew is merry, anticipating the accolades that await us when we return with our bounty from the east. Captain's log, September 23rd. Violent storms have battered our ships these past days. Our only communication between vessels is via signal lights, and at times the storms reduce visibility so as to prohibit us seeing even the faintest light from our sister ships. The crew is growing disgruntled as we have not seen any sign of land since leaving the Canaries. My first mate reported a brawl in the crew's quarters that resulted in injuries to several of my crew members. Captain's log, October 7th. We are now a month at sea, and today has been our most difficult by far. Food is growing scarce, forcing us to ration what remains. My crew, once fit and well-fed, is now weak, gaunt, and malnourished. Anger and great unrest are pervasive. It grows more and more difficult to maintain order, which will be essential if we are to succeed on the quest. At midday, the lookout on the Santa Maria spotted what he thought to be land. Great celebration broke out among the crew of all three ships, but as we neared the site, we were bitterly disappointed to find that he was mistaken. This disparaging news plummeted the crew to the depths of despair. I must confess, I am also beginning to doubt the wisdom of this voyage. Perhaps Columbus is wrong. Perhaps the world is flat, and we are headed for doom. Captain's log, October 10. The ship has grown eerily quiet. As I walk the decks and lower berths, I occasionally hear a whispered, I fear it is not just the crew of the Pinta, but is pervasive among all three vessels. I have no way of communicating my fears to Columbus without fueling this fire of discontent. I too am subject to the wrath of the crew, should they decide to follow through with their thoughts. For as commander of this vessel, I will be the target of their mutiny. I cannot imagine a worse fate. The fear that has gripped my crew these past days is now at my very door. I am certain that the only thing that keeps them from acting on their impulse is this relentless expanse of sea and sky stretching out before us in every direction. I pray that we soon find land, any land. Captain's log, October 11. Celebration erupted from my entire crew when we saw sandpipers and a green rush near the vessel, also a cane and a log. They picked up a stick which appeared to have been carved with an iron, a piece of cane, a plant which grows on land, and a board. The crew of the Nina saw other signs of land and a stalk loaded with rose berries. Everyone breathed afresh and rejoiced at these signs. Captain's log, October 12th. I've rarely heard a sound so glorious. Land ho! Land ho! My ship's weary watchman was the first to sound the cry. This time it was unmistakable. My entire crew broke out in shouts of acclamation and praise to God. Winds are at our back. We should make landfall by day's end. It has been an arduous journey, one which none of us properly anticipated. 34 days. I look forward with eager anticipation to exploring this new land.